order to change the ownership and the permission for some files and directories. For today, we're going to continue working with Linux, and we're going to introduce some of the hacker tools that can be used in order to explore and work with Linux. So let's continue. Some of the super useful commands that we can use within Linux is apt, which is a collection of tools distributed in a package from its name. Also, it can be called and used within the command line by using the apt. If you remember last time, we used one of them in order to upgrade the system. And at that time, we used apt get upgrade, or sudo, which is apt upgrade. I'm just going to remind you about the command later. But basically, apt help us actually to install any package, doing the upgrade, doing the updates for the Linux system, also to help us if we want to install or uninstall some of the softwares within our Linux system. So apt is basically held as one of the Debian's best features for Linux system or Linux environment, and it helps us to installing and uninstalling softwares on any Linux system. Some of the formats or some of the commands that's related to apt by itself. Also, we can use apt-get, apt-cache. Some of them used for installing, some of them for uninstalling, and so on. So apt by itself actually replaces the old command deselect, which is a previous tool, and it used to be used for running, installing, and managing softwares. But apt, it's much easier than deselect, the older one. And also it has been adopted as a main package handling system in most of the Debian flavor of Linux. So this is about apt. Some of the lists and some of the advanced package tools within the apt, we've got apt source list, which is a very important in this part. Now, how we can add official repositories and source list files. Now, if you look at the link over there, you've got a YouTube link, which is I'm gonna show you exactly what it contains. Although the language there, it's not in English, but I think you don't need the language, as it shows you exactly what kind of commands that you can do in order to add the source list by using the apt. Now, so why do we need apt actually, or why do we need the source list? Usually the source list includes all of the updated packages needed for Linux system, including the latest versions and the latest packages. And sometimes you need just to update your repositories, your source list from time to time. So basically, you can use this video in order to show you exactly how you can add repositories, official Kali Linux in source list file, and how to fix the source list file in Kali. In some cases, you might find yourself trying to update or install some of the files or some of the softwares, and Kali Linux or any other Linux system says that the update is not available. So what we can do in this case, you need to update your repositories, adding official Kali Linux sources into the source list. So this video exactly show you where you can add repositories, where you can update your source list within the Kali Linux. It's very simple. All you have to do, just follow the links. It's about 7 minutes or 6 minutes. It shows you exactly how you can do that. The first thing you need to do is just go to the Kali website or Kali Linux website, the official website. So just open a browser, and from the browser, go to kalilinux.org, as you're gonna see in a minute. Right, so basically we need to go to Kali.org, which is the official website for Kali. Right, from there, you're going to find some of the default network repositories values. These are the ones that we need to include in our source files. So if you look at the links over there, we've got 3 links. We need to copy them in our source list, right? So basically, I'm going to show you how you can create the source list within your Kali Linux. As I said, we need those 3 links. This is the first one, the second one, and the third one. We're going to create the source list first, and then adding those 3 links to that source list in order to update our source list. So back again to the command line, cd space /etc /apt, then enter. Now we need to create the source list within this folder. In order to do that, we can use any editor, such as Nano or any other one. Nanos, you can use Nano as it's allow you to copy and paste easily within this file. You can see now that you need to create a file called sources.list as the name over there. And within that sources.list, you need to copy now the 3 links from there. And as I said, these are the official ones from Kali Linux. Okay, just copy each one of them and add that to your sources.list file. Second one as well. And the third one. Now, when you finish, now you need to save the file. You need to exit the file and save it. Can you see that? Now, file name to the right, yes. And by using this way, now you have created the sources.list file. Now you can easily use any of the commands within the apt. So if you try to write down apt-get upgrade or update, you can see now the repositories has been updated as it's going to be connected to the Kali Linux websites and basically getting the latest versions of the packages. You can see now it's being updated with the latest one. So you need to do that between one time to time. So basically that will help you to update your packages all the time. So this is just a way that you can do in order to add advanced package tools to your APT. All right.
Tariq?
Yeah.
Tariq, so these packages, when we installed the Linux software or the virtual VM, this is where the platform we used to do the pen test of a particular task we're going to do. So these applications we further install on this Linux or the Kali Linux.
No. That's not related to the testing or penetration testing. That's related to Linux itself. I mean, sometimes you will not be able to download or install some of the softwares. It's gonna say that, right, the command is not found or the software cannot be found. That's because the sources list is maybe containing an old link to the repositories, all right, or containing it doesn't have the right path or the right tools or packages in order to install some of the softwares within Kali Linux. So you need to update your sources list in order to allow Kali Linux to update and install the latest advanced tools for packages, right? So this is a really necessary step to be done before doing any penetration testing or before doing any installing or any updating for any problems. You're gonna find yourself sometimes unable to install some of the tools, right? That's because you need to update your repositories with Kali Linux.
So this is like we make in the background to make sure that tools can be easily installed.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is not related to any security issues or any penetration testing, but it's very useful when you want to have an advanced package tools and you want to install them. You need to update the repositories with Kali Linux. This is the way how to do that. So just to add this value or this information to you. Let's continue with APT. We said that APT is a useful package that can be used in order to install and uninstall software. You can just write down APT if you want in order to get some of the information about APT. So if you write down APT or if you type APT within your Kali Linux, you're gonna get all the information about APT, what is exactly APT is used to or used for, and most used commands with APT. It's going to show you all that. So if I want to show you an example of that, if we run any terminals within Kali, just gonna log in quickly. Right. Right, so let me just open a new terminal, sorry. Now within the terminal, if you just write down AP or type APT, it's just gonna show you exactly APT is used for what, which is a package manager used for installing and uninstalling packages, softwares within Kali Linux, and most of the tools and commands that can be used within APT. So basically, this is like a help, show you exactly how you can use APT. Right. Now, as we used last time, we used to have, when we tried to update our system, we tried both commands. If you remember, we used apt-get space update, and also we've got apt update. So what's the difference between both of them? I mean, is there any difference between the first command and the second command? Actually, the main difference you will notice is that apt by itself without the -get or the -get is easier to type. Its output generally more useful than the ones with apt-get, and it includes some of the user-friendly features like a progress bar when installing a package. So maybe using apt by itself is much easier than, or slightly easier than using apt-get update, but both of them are gonna do the same thing. Right, so if you tried apt update to update your device or trying apt-get update, you're gonna get the same thing. But the main difference, as I said, is that apt is much easier when you type it, and also the output generally is more useful and giving you like a progress bar when installing the package. The same thing for apt-get upgrade and apt upgrade. So the main difference between both of them again is that with apt-get update, it's fetch the latest version of the package list from your software repository and any third-party repositories you may have configured. And that's when you use apt-get. So it's basically figure out what the latest version of each package is and the dependencies, sorry, but will not actually download or install any of those updates. Now, apt-get upgrade maybe one of you just might ask, all right, what's the difference between update and upgrade? I mean, when I can use the update, when can I use the upgrade? Now, within the upgrade, basically, you are using the upgrade command to download and install the updates for each outdated packages and dependency on your system. While within the apt-get update, you are fetching the latest version of the package list from your repository, right? So this is the main difference between upgrade and update. Again, maybe apt upgrade is much easier or slightly easier when you type it by itself without using apt-get upgrade. So you can see that apt is a very useful tool, very useful package in order to install and uninstalling softwares and packages. You can use it within Git or without it. Both of them gonna give you mostly the same output, but it's much easier to use it without -git. Now, when you try apt upgrade and apt update, the difference between upgrade and update, that update basically fetch the latest version of the packages list from your repository. You remember the repository, the ones that we added to the sources list? Those called the repository. So basically, update fetches the latest version of the packages listed in your repository, right? While the upgrade command downloads and installs the updates for each outdated packages and dependencies on your system. So the new versions of currently installed packages that cannot be upgraded without changing the install status of the another packages will be left at their current version. Update must be performed first so that the apt-get knows that the new version of the packages are available. So it's recommended to do the update first, apt update, then you can do the apt upgrade later on. The reason that update must be performed first is that the apt can know exactly the new version of the packages that are available in order to be upgraded. As I mentioned, upgraded is used to download and install the packages, while update can be used in order to know the new version of the packages. Any questions so far? Before talking about the other packages within apt, we talked about two of them so far, upgrade and update. We said that you should do the update first, then doing the upgrade. The other apt tools and packages, we've got apt-get distribute upgrade or dist upgrade. The main task for distribute upgrade or DST upgrade, in addition to performing the function of upgrade, also, so basically it does the upgrading, but also it's intelligently handle changes, dependencies with a new version of packages. So apt-get has a smarter conflict resolution system. So what's exactly happened if you've got an older version of a package and now you have installing a new version and you've got a conflict within the system, basically this upgrade is going to solve that conflict, right? So sometimes you might get a conflict between the older versions and the new version of the packages. So if you write down apt-get distribute upgrade, it's going to solve or smartly solve any conflict that might happen within the system. Also, we've got apt full upgrade. Full upgrade perform the function of the upgrade, the normal upgrade, but may also remove installed packages if that is required in order to resolve a package conflict. Okay, so these are some of the upgrades commands that you can use. We have full upgrade, we have dist upgrade to solve the conflicts. We've got upgrade by itself, and also we've got updates. All of them related to apt. Any question? Right. We've got also Git, which is a distributed version control system for tracking changes in a source code. It's a very useful it's very useful software in order to track any changes in the source code during the software development. So imagine that you've got a team, and this team includes maybe several members, and each one of them may work on a specific piece of software, and you want to track any changes within your software or any changes within your source code during the software development. So Git actually is a very useful tool in order to help you to track those changes, right? So it is designed for coordinating work among programmers, and also it can be used to track changes in any set of files. So it's really a nice tool, especially when you've got teams and several programmers and you want to change and you want to track any changes within your source code between those programmers, you can use that. Also, it includes speed, data integrity, support for distributed nonlinear workflows. So one of its, let's say, packages is called GitHub, which is an American company, provide hosting for software development versions and control using Git. So we're going to show you some of the examples of how you can use GitHub. Okay, so GitHub actually allow users on the internet to share their code and allow multiple coders to work on it. As I said, because it's basically saving or tracking any changes within the source code during the software development. So basically it's allow multiple coders to work on that code and to share their code between them. So it stores its in single point of reference, backing everything up multiple times. Right. So this means Git account owners can set permission on their content and allow contribution from the greater audience. So basically each one of them will have his or her account, and basically each one of them can have a permission on that content of their account on their files, and they can share those files between them and tracking any changes within their source code during the software development. In this case, they can check and track exactly what exactly has been changed, what exactly has been done. If there is any problem, they can track back and go back again to previous points where they saved their files, their systems, and they can back up the whole things back again. If you just write down or type git command within the Kali Linux or any Linux system within any terminal, it's going to show you exactly what this command is used for and what exactly the related command that can be used within the Git. Right. So just to mention that GitHub stores publicly accessible code in simple to use web directories called Git repositories. I'm going to show you how you can do that. They provide the Git tool for Linux system to allow easy access to the hosted software whenever they need it. So as an example of that, now let's assume that we've got some files, and these files we want to share between some coders or programmers. All you have to do is just to get something called the Git address, and this is the ones that we talk about. And by getting that address, you can basically use the command git clone and the address. You can see the green one. This is the address we talked about, git address. This is the address that we talked about. So basically you need to get this address, and you can apply the command git clone within the git address. Let's have an example. The first thing we need to do is create a directory, and this directory we're going to call it lasagne. So we have created a directory, and then we have entered within this directory cd lasagne. Okay, we have applied ls, which is list, and you can see it's empty, nothing inside. Now if you try to have the following command, git clone https and the command address or the git address, which is this one, it's going to be copied and pasted within the terminals. Basically you're going to be within this folder which contains those folders and files. So basically if you try to list all the files and folders within the new folder, the ones that have been created, you're going to find yourself having all the files the folders within that lasagna. So basically it's like using a Dropbox. Okay, so it's kind of sharing folders and files within that box. So I'm just going to show you an example, a real example, instead of having a screenshot. Okay, so basically let me just copy that. If you try to go to that one. Okay, I'm just looking for one of them. Hold a second. Okay, all right, so this is one of the examples for Lasagna. Now you can see that it's used GitHub. Now, in order to be able to enter this folder and having all the files and folder within it, so we need to go to code and copy that one, the address within that one. Okay, so if you go to Kali Linux, if you want to apply that within Kali Linux, just gonna close that for a second. If you open a web browser, sorry. Okay, and then there, I'm just gonna copy the address over there. /com, sorry. .com/ okay, have a okay, I think now now I am within that website. So if you go down, okay. Just looking for the source code. Maybe I just write something wrong. HTTPS github.com ALESSA Z NAZAGNE. Okay. So I'm looking for the source code. Where's the source code? Source code doesn't show the same page. This is not the same page. It should show us this page. Where's that page? Let's see, what there? Not that one. And let's try that on Google. This is the problem when you deal with multiple screens. I mean, you cannot just copy and working with that as a virtual, you expect to get the paste. It's not going to work. You need to write down that, or you can just download the file or the presentation file within your virtual. Otherwise, it's going to be hard. You know, you need to write or type everything as it is. GitHub. Okay, forgot T. Let's try that. Let's take us to the same line. It's not showing the page, the required page, the ones that we are talking about. This is the page that I want, but it's not showing that. Should get this page. Well, the reason I need this page in order to copy the code over there, the address, sorry. I need to copy the address in order to be able to use it within our terminal, but I'm not able to reach that within the virtual machine. This is a problem. Within the virtual machine, I cannot reach this page for some reason. I don't know why. Any suggestion, guys? Let's try that. View code. Standalone codes, not showing that. But anyway, as we're not able to get that within the Linux root force specific issues, there's a problem. So the reason why we need to reach this page in order to copy the address over there. All right, from there, after we create a folder and this folder is still empty, now we need to use the get colon command, get clone HTTP. This is the address, the ones that we need to copy, paste it, and then we're gonna be able to see all the files, the folders within Alessandro's folder. So basically, this is gonna be shared between all the users, right? So basically, it will not be if you run or issue the list command within your Kali Linux, you're gonna get all the files. These are the files and the folders within this in folder. So basically, you can see all of them. You're gonna be able to see all of them there, right? So the main issue is to get the code, and from the code you're gonna get the address. You're gonna copy the address. I can do that within my system over there. Can reach the page, but for some reason I cannot reach the page within Kali Linux. I don't know why. Right, try that with Kali over there. I'm sure that I've written the same address over there, but I can't reach it or can't use it. I don't know why. Where is it? This is the biggest, I think. Where is the menu? Okay, down. I can't reach it online. This is the problem is the same address. You can see that it's the same address, but different pages. Can you see it? Same one, but with, is there anything missing? GitHub.com, GitHub.com, and ESS. It's really important.
What of if you view the code on VM, on the Kali?
The what, sorry?
What if you view the code on the Kali? Because I saw on it that you can view code. Maybe you can now copy from there also on the Kali.
Well, you can't just write down the code as I say. I mean ls, and we can just directly do that. I mean, just copy that code directly from there. We can do it, but I'm just gonna want to show you how you can copy the code. So we can just write create make directory and create our folder. You can give the folder the same as the package name. Okay, so now ls, now you go the folder. This is the folder that I've created in a minute. Now if you enter that or try to access this folder, now we are inside the folder. ls, it's empty, nothing inside, nothing. Now you can use the get clone, and then you need to access the address or to write down the address, https then github.com / Alessandro. Is it Alessandro Z? Yeah, Alessandro Z / L as okay dot is it dot get? Yeah. So if you try that, now it's connecting to Alessandro, and if you try to run ls, you can see that there is a folder inside it. Now it used to be empty. cd LAZAGNN ls. Now I've got the folders and the files within one. It used to be empty, if you remember. So now we can access this folder, and this folder is shared between multiple users, multiple coders. So you can add your source code, you can add your files, and of course Alessandro can look at any changes within that folders. So for example, it can show exactly when this file, for example, been added, if there's anything done for a specific files or folders, any piece of code that has been added, it's gonna show you exactly that thing, so you can see it's really good. It's much easier when you copy the address, and instead of just writing the whole address, you just copy that and basically add it to your paste over there like that. So basically it's really much easier, but remember you need to add git clone and then the address. In this case you can have the folder and the file, the content of the folder and the files within it. Is it clear, guys? I hope it's clear how you can use GitHub.
Can you give another example, please?
We need to look for any, basically it's look for any folders or file that's been available to be shared. So in our example it's called line, so let's try something else. If you look in Google for GitHub, sorry, one word. Project. Well, it depends on the project that you want to work with, actually. So basically, find code across all of your repositories. So if you try to look for something with, for example, for cloud. Okay, this is another one. So basically just
Okay.
copy the code from there.
Okay.
Right, and just create a folder within your Kali Linux. Of course, you need to do that within your virtual machine.
Okay.
So basically, you need to create a folder there within the name of that. Then use git clone again, and basically you're gonna share all the folders and the files within that project. Okay, so it depends on the project that you need to work with. This is just a sample project, so it depends on the topic that you are really interested in or you want to work with, right? And then you can contribute with others on the source code of this project.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Let's continue. We talked about Alessandro's in a minute, and we show you an example of about how you can use the GitHub to share the code for Lasagne with Alessandro. So what's this code? What this piece of software is used for, or what this tool is used for? The ones that we have just shared or used. So Lasagne is a tool developed by Alessandro, and it's useful to retrieve password. Actually, can you imagine? It's used to retrieve passwords stored within your local computer by most commonly used software. So can be used within Windows and can be used within Linux. So for example, if you are using a Windows and try to run this application or this software or tools, it's going to show you all the password that is stored within the RAM or within the memory. So if I try to enter my Facebook and within the same session, within the same, while the computer is running, if I try to run this tool, it's going to show me the password that I've used within Facebook. All right. So it's a really useful tool in order to retrieve passwords stored within your local computer and local memory. Now, just to remind you that each software stores its password using different techniques. It might be used plain text, custom, or it can be encrypted. It can be saved encrypted. So basically, you can use Lasagne in order to retrieve those passwords, whether within Linux or Windows. The tool displays password for currently 22 versions of Windows and 12 Linux programs. I'm going to show you an example how you're going to do that. How to install it is very easy. Within Windows, you only need to get the exe file and run that. And it's going to show you exactly, I'm going to show you how to do that within Windows. But with Linux, you need to use the git clone git repository followed by the following command in order to install this software or this tool in order to show all the password that you have within your local machine. Let's have an example. Now, you've got something for Windows. I'm just going to run the video just to show you exactly how you can run this tool. And then I'm going to show you exactly an example, a real example. Okay, I'm just going to start from there. Yeah. So basically, let's assume that we have accessed one of the users within Windows. This is the desktop. You can see that I've got the lasagne.exe. You can install it easily. Let's assume that we want to log into a Facebook and we have used one of it's very quick. Yeah. You can see now I've got just like a random user trying to log into a Facebook with test@gmail.com with some password. I've already logged in and I want to see what exactly the password that's been used in order to access this account within Facebook. All right. So how can I use Lasagne in this case? Just run a command line. Go to the desktop where this file is in and run the tool. All right, you can see that you only have just to run the tool. The name.exe. It's going to show you all the tools, the associated commands within that one. the most preferable one is to use all with it. But of course, you can use any other of them. You can use the memory, for example, which gonna show all the password that been stored within the memory. Now, if you look at the result of this command, this is the result of this command. You can see that all the password at the account that been used. Now, if you look, this is the Facebook, right? And the login, the username was test@gmail.com and the password is AMIT So basically it shows all the passwords that been used within this session or for that user, right? So it's a very powerful very powerful tool, sorry, in order to show all the password. Now, where can I get this file, such a file? So I can do that if you go to hold a second. Where's Kali? Yeah, this is Kali. Just gonna close that. All right. So if you go to there, follow that link. Okay. Right. So this is the ones that you need to use for Windows version. Okay. So basically, if you just click at, I do have a permission to use that within my device. This is the file that we talk about. So you can work with that with Windows version. You need just to run a command and then command line, then run the tool. You can use it with all or the memory. The other is used for Linux. The other ones is used for Linux. So this is for Windows and those for Linux. As I said, it's very useful. And you can show all the passwords that you've got with the memory for any session, any account that you have entered. So the video, I have attached a video there that you can follow in order to show exactly how you can use it within Windows and within Linux. As I said, sometimes the password might be stored not in a plain text. It might be encrypted, so you might need to use some of the tools that can help you in order to decrypt any encrypted passwords. So those are some of the tools that you can use in order to do that. Right? So I recommend if you've got any virtual machine with Windows, I recommend to start working with the Windows version. Okay, so you can try that. I will try to see if I've got any Windows version, which, let me see, within my environment. Windows 10, yeah, I've got Windows 10 over there. Let's run that to see if we can work with Lasagne or on. Always try those tools and commands within your virtual machine, not within your real machine. Just remember that, okay? It might affect your system in some way. Some of other tools might be also used by the hacker in order to hack to your system. So always try those commands at your virtual machine, not your real machine. Okay, now you need to first download the file or the application. Okay, what's called okay, this is the ones that we talk about. Okay, sorry, I discarded that. I need to copy it. Blocked it. Okay. Don't want to block it. Keep file. Keep anyway. Yeah. So now it's being downloaded. Failed. Okay. I need to stop the Windows from preventing that. The Windows is blocking this software for some reason. If you try to have that within copy with Microsoft Edge, let's see if we can manage to install that with Microsoft Edge. Okay, let's try to download it again. Save. Just want to stop that. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll do it. Yeah. So, okay, yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So allow thread. Let's try to download it again. Save. Same issue. Contain a virus and was deleted. So is there anything that we can add to our permission saying that? Okay, maybe in the break I will look for a way in order to allow Windows to download this file. I will look for a way on YouTube just to see how we can allow the Windows or make the Windows save this file, as Windows consider that as a virus and it's not allowing me to download this file. So we need this file in order to see if we can show all the passwords that we've got. So I will check that during the break. So let's continue our okay. Let's see. Sorry. Okay, let's see. Thank you. Let's Oh, that's normal. It's not showing now even. It's not showing. So let's try with maybe in Google with Edge. Maybe it's gonna work with Edge. Let's see. Save. Okay. I think finish downloading. Yeah. So open folder. Okay. Thank you. So if you copy that to the desktop. Okay. Good. So if we run the command line. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is the file, of course. So let's run .exe. Okay, and memory. We've got no password has been used. All right, let's try something. If we try, for example, Facebook. I'm not gonna use my real one, but I'm just gonna try just any fake account. So for example, if you tried test at hotmail.com and we tried a password like ABC123 login. Of course, there's no account with that, but just to try it. Okay. Now, if you try to run the command back again, just to see. Still processing. Okay, let's try back. Okay, if you try all. Right. This is target client. Show only what? Xbox Live. Right. It's not showing the Facebook. Okay. Maybe it should be working with an account. If we have a real account, maybe it might work. I don't know. Maybe if you try that at your system in the same way, try to log into your Facebook account or any accounts that you've got, such as Gmail or any of that, and try to run the application to see if it can show you the passwords or not. Okay, guys. Right. We've got also some of the links over there. Let's try some of them. If you go and try some of them. These are some of the examples that we can use to crypt Lasagne. So basically these can be used as well in our application. Okay, so that's for the theory part of our session for today. Any question, guys? We talked about Lasagne. We talked about using the Git clone in order to share our folders and files. Also, we talked about GitHub. We talked about apps full upgrade, updates, and others. So that's all about some of the commands that can be used within Linux system. We try to work with design within the Windows environment, as I followed the instruction with the video over there. The video is already within your slides, so it should, I don't know if it's gonna work with you, right? Maybe we need to run as administrator first before applying the command, so it might be because of that. But you can try that by yourself. You can try that by yourself. Right, so we're gonna have a break for 10 minutes. Then we will come back to talk about the practical part for today.
Tariq, today's session will be tested on the main assignment? Or?
We're going to talk about exploitation, and we're going to show you some of the tools that you can use with Kali Linux. So yeah, it's going to be, it's easy, you know, it's straightforward like the ones in the previous session. So you're not going to have any problems. So hopefully it's going to be easy and show you how you can use some of the tools in order to hack and access some of the ports within the targeted machine.
Cheers. Thank you.
Any questions, guys, before we go to a break?
Oh, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Let's have 10 minutes break. If you can come back after 10 minutes, we're going to continue our practical part. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Just going to share my screen again. Okay. All right. For the practical part for today, we're going to talk about exploitation. If you remember in our assignment, if you go to the assessment, we have covered the first three parts. That's being covered. Now we're going to talk about exploitation, which is the fourth one. Okay. Now, what tasks we will got? Of course, you need to explain what they mean by exploitation. That's really easy. And now, after we have done the vulnerability assessment, and analysis using different tools. If you remember last time we used OpenVAS, and also we have used other tools and asked you to install it. If I remember, the name of the tools is what? Do you remember the name of the second tools that we asked you to do it?
Zap. OS Zap.
Yep. That's what one. Sorry. Yeah, this is the first tool, and the second tool was, yeah, that's the one. So both of them get used for vulnerability assessment, analysis. Sorry, and by using both of them, we can exactly determine the weakness point within our system. Now, after finishing that, it's time for the exploitation. In order to do that or to perform that, we need to use some of the tools. Before introducing to those tools, right, you can look at the following link, which show you exactly some of the exploitations available over the world. So for example, for a specific application, what kind of tools that we have used for example, Wi-Fi mouse. So basically this can be used in order, I think, to hack one of the Wi-Fi's. So those are some of the tools that can be used in order to hack the system, depending on the vulnerability of that system, right? So not all the system having the same weak points. So you might think about some of those tools related to the vulnerability assessment or vulnerability analysis that you have done to the targeted system. So depending on that vulnerability analysis, you can determine which tools I can use in order to hack to that system. Okay. Yeah.
So that means when you do the vulnerability analysis, so it
Yeah.
tells you, what are the areas that you have lags, whether it's a password or whether it's in the system or things like that. So taking those analysis loops, we'll have to check on these
You
tools.
don't have to check. You just maybe look for the SPIS tool to be used in order to hack to the system. We're going to show you two tools today, and you're going to practice working with two tools for today. But basically, you can just check this database, which is called exploit database, right? You can check them for any of the tools that can be used for a specific targeted system with a specific vulnerability issue, right? So for example, for WordPress, you've got a plugin which is called the Blizer, I think, which can be used in order to hack a web server. I think so. So basically depends on the vulnerability at that system. So back again to what we need to do. We're going to perform some of the exploitation stage of the PASTA methodology by using Metasploit framework, the ones that are available within Kali. So if you go to Kali application, and you need to look for the ones that we need to use, which is called Metasploitations. Okay, where is it? Over there, maybe. Okay. This is one of the tools that I might show you how to work with today, but I'm just going to leave that for a second. Wireshark is another tool that you can use. It's also a good one. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one we were looking for. Metasploit. That's the one that we are looking for. You can find it within the exploitation tools. If you go to the exploitation tools, you're going to find it, which is called Metasploit. Okay, so when you run that, you're going to get this screen. Okay, from there, you're going to start your exploitation. Back again to show you exactly what you need to do. Just going to close that. Right, so from there, you need to use this tool in order to create access to the target system. So we need to run the system, the targeted system first, guys, okay? So just go back to your virtual machines or to your VMware, and from there, make sure to run your targeted machine first, okay? This is a targeted machine. It should be run, so just make sure it's run. Okay, just gonna turn it off and on again, power off, and then I'm gonna power on again. Okay, so make sure the targeted machine is power on before you go further with your exploitation, with your commands. Now, after you power on your machine, as in the right picture over there, this side, so it should be on. Now, on the left side, this is the tool that we're going to use, as I show you in Kali Linux. This is the one, okay? This is the one that we're going to use in order to reach this exploitation. And where is it? Where is it? Yeah, exploitation tools, the first one. This is the one that you're going to use. All right, so what you need to do, The following commands. You can start by exploiting port 21, which is a port that can be used in order for file transfer and file transfer protocols. Now, just to mention what do you mean by FTP. FTP, which is file transfer protocol, typically it's used port number 21 in order to communicate and install transfer files between the computer or your computer and the network. So basically you can make use of this port if it's open in order to handle and access to the targeted machine as a root. So basically you're gonna access to that port as a root. In order to do that, you need to follow and use the following command. If you see the command that you need to use, which is called use VSFTP, right? So if you look at over there, exactly, this is the beginning of using the command. Can you see it? Over there, MSF6, use FSFP, right? Just make sure that the targeted machine is on first. Then you're gonna get the information over there and follow the rest of the instructions. You need to have the show options after that. Then you need to have the IP address of the targeted machine. The IP address of the target machine, just to remind you, ifconfig, to show the ifconfig, to show the IP address of the target machine, you need to use a command called set rhosts, as in the screenshot over there, with the targeted machine IP, the target machine. In this case, you can write command called exploit. It's very easy, yeah? And that's it. You're going to be the root for the machine. So basically, you have exploit the machine. If you write down whom am I, it's going to show you that you are the root at that machine. Okay, so that's make use of port 21, which is the port which is should be used for file transfer, but as the machine is vulnerable and having a weak point with that port, you will be able to exploit this port and make use and handle the root account there. Another task to do the same steps but with different port. This port is 139, which is SMP, which is also used for TCP NetBIOS connections. And usually with Windows machines, it's used for or running Samba. And these TCP connections within NetBIOS, you can follow the same instructions but with different commands, as you can see from there, starting from which point. You need to use the following command, use exploit and the rest, right? You need to write down that. As you can see at the beginning of the screenshot over there, you need to start from there and the rest of the commands. But before following the whole instructions, make sure that you've got the targeted machine is on. MS, as I remember, MSF admin, yeah, ifconfig. Now from there, you're gonna use, or depends on the IP address, in my case 10.0.74.19. So from there, we're gonna start working on that. So if I wanna show you just the first part with port number 21. Okay, so the first command you need to start with, okay, use a VSFTP. So use VSFTP. Okay, so this is the first one. You can look at the information that you've got, which is a backdoor that can be used within that port number in order to hack to that system and to be the root or use the root account within that system. The next command that you need to use, which is show options and so on, right? Just write down and follow the same instructions. Make sure to use, guys, you make sure to use the targeted machine IP. In our case, it's 10.0. I think it's 74.9. Yeah, it's 19, 74.19. Just make sure to use your targeted machine IP address in order to apply this command. Any question, guys? Any questions?
It's all right.
Let's try. We'll see how it goes.
Right. Okay. When you finish, let me know. I'm gonna show you another scenarios where we can hack to a web server. Okay. It's not mentioned there in the practice, but I'm gonna show you that just as an example of how you can hack a password within a web server. Just let me know when you finish. Okay. Thank you.
Practical guide say we can use the VSFTP by running the command use SFTP, yeah?
Yep.
I did run that one, yeah?
Yeah. That's not working? This one, yeah?
Yeah, it's a bad noise, but yeah, it's this one, yeah. I used that one, yeah?
Right.
I used that one and give me the, which option it gave me that when I used that one. It's saying matching modules. Yeah.
You should get the options like
yeah, I got all the details. Yeah, the zero. Yeah, this exploit module. I got all the details. That's right. Yeah, I got all the details.
What's the problem?
Yeah, and the second one, which is
Show options.
show option. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should get something like that. As in the screenshot.
Yeah, I got the show option, ID names, and zero automatic tacits.
Yeah, that's right.
So
the next one.
I should use the IP address of the machine, yeah? Target machine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I got it. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. I sorted. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
I hope everything is fine, guys. If you've done both tasks, you can work with your portfolio. So you can work with your assessment if you want. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Tariq?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tariq, from the last session, I haven't got anything feedback from the IT. These people say it's the summer university has to look after. Anyways, when I looked on the assessment, I think I should be able to answer the assessment with the minimum practical engagement that I have with software.
Right. Okay,
So,
that's great. Are you working now with your personal machine? I mean, your virtual box?
that didn't work, Tariq, because yeah, the whole thing from the last session didn't have any further steps. Anyway, I mean, my intention, I have seen what you are doing. So, and I've also absorbed by the theoretical. Only thing I'm missing is the practical element. Physically, I'm doing it. So, apart from that, everything is stream. And
yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So I'm going to do the assessment, and without maybe the screenshots that I have, but I can do the theoretical parts and get the good explanation of what my knowledge into the assessment.
Okay, that's great. That's okay.
So I hope that's acceptable from your side as well.
Yeah, I will do my best. I mean, to help you with the marking for the assessment.
Thanks, Tariq. Anyway, what I was thinking is I'm going to when I have updated system, I try my practical assessment by myself. At the same time, my idea of this is to get a good basic understanding of the cybersecurity.
Right.
So,
okay.
Thank you, Tariq.
Thank you. I was promised you to show you another example of how to crack a password, but I discovered that it's going to be covered, that the whole topic going to be covered at week 4 or the last week of our module. So basically, I just want to postpone the whole things to week 4. It's kind of scenarios that a man in the middle trying to hack a password and stealing passwords and communication between two parties. So basically, it's going to be covered sorry, at week 4. So I'm not going to be using this example right now. Just postpone that to week 4. Okay, guys. So please, if you finish your task, you can work with your assessment, and I will be here till 9 o'clock or till the end of this session in order to answer your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tara.